Good morning, everyone. There was a girl who liked a boy. She liked him a lot. She would think about him all the time, and she would daydream about what it would be like to have a boyfriend like him. She would imagine them walking hand in hand through the park, going on dates, and just being together in general. But unfortunately, the boy didn't like her back. He didn't even know that she existed. One day, the girl decided that she couldn't take it anymore. She had to tell him how she felt, so she wrote him a love letter and asked her friend to pass it to him. The friend agreed, but only because he didn't want the girl to keep suffering. He didn't think that the boy would ever like her, but he hoped that at least if he knew how she felt, maybe he would be nicer to her. When the boy received the letter, he was very surprised. He had no idea that the girl liked him. He was actually a nice guy, but he was also very shy. He didn't know what to say or how to respond, so he just put the letter in his pocket and went to class. The girl saw the boy reading the letter during class, and her heart broke. She wanted to tell him that she didn't mean for him to read it, but she was too shy. She just sat there and watched him as he read every word, trying to imagine what he must be thinking. After class, the boy approached the girl. She froze, expecting him to laugh at her or make fun of her for writing such a silly letter. But instead, he looked down at his feet and said, "I'm sorry, but I don't feel the same way about you." The girl's eyes filled with tears, but she nodded, understanding that he needed to tell her this in order to move on. She walked away from him, feeling heartbroken. All of her friends tried to cheer her up, but nothing worked. She was devastated. She didn't understand why she had to be the one to suffer. Why did he get to be happy while she was sad? One day, as she was walking through the park, she saw a group of kids playing. They were laughing and having so much fun. It made her smile, and she realized that life was still worth living. She might be sad now, but she would be okay in the end. She thought about how she had been acting before she got the letter. She had been so caught up in her own little world that she hadn't been living in the real one. She hadn't been paying attention to her friends or family. She had been so focused on the boy that she had neglected everything else in her life. She realized that she needed to change. She needed to become a stronger person, someone who didn't need a boy to make her happy. She took a deep breath and started walking towards home. She didn't know what the future held, but she was ready to face it. And then she saw him. The boy was sitting on a bench, looking at his feet. She could tell that he was sad, and it made her heart go out to him. She approached him slowly and asked him if he was okay. He looked up at her and forced a smile. "I'm fine," he said, but she could see that he wasn't. She sat down next to him and put a hand on his shoulder. He flinched at first, but then he leaned against her. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I never meant for you to read that letter." She shook her head, knowing exactly what he was talking about. "It's okay," she said softly. "I understand." He looked up at her, his eyes filled with gratitude. "You do?" he asked. "You're not mad at me?" She smiled sadly. "How could I be mad at you? You didn't know that I liked you." He nodded, understanding. They sat in silence for a moment, both lost in their own thoughts. Then the girl stood up. "I should go," she said. "Bye." The boy looked up at her, his eyes pleading for her to stay, but she didn't. She turned and walked away, leaving him alone on the bench. As she walked, she knew that this was goodbye. She would never forget the boy, but she had to move on. She had to live her life, and so she did. She became a strong, independent woman who didn't need anyone to make her happy. And though she never forgot the boy, she also never looked back.